Tom, today I read something that honestly broke my heart. A 14-year-old boy wrote, "I can't. I'm struggling with life. I'm severely lonely." And I felt this cold shock, like I was reading someone's soul spilling out.
14? That's so painfully young to feel that heavy. What exactly did he say?
He said he feels lonely and deeply sad every day, that he sees a future that feels impossible for him, that no matter how encouraging people try to be, he always ends the day feeling empty.
God, that kind of hopelessness at that age is like standing at the start of a long road, already tired. You haven't even walked yet, but the weight feels unbearable.
Yes, and what struck me most was how he said, "This is the only app I feel safe to speak on. I just feel trapped." You could feel the desperation in those words, like he's screaming quietly in a room no one else can enter.
That trapped feeling, I remember it. At 14, emotions are storm-sized, but you're still a child. You don't have the tools, the freedom, the perspective. Everything feels final.
Yes, and someone answered him, saying, "You're young. Do not give in to despair. There is so much to life you don't know yet." And it was kind, but you could feel the boy thinking, "Yeah, but I feel terrible now."
Right. That's the thing adults always forget. When you're 14, the present is everything. The brain can't imagine future happiness because it's never experienced it before. It's like telling someone who's never seen spring that winter won't last forever.
Exactly. And another commenter said, "I felt the same at your age. I walked at night because I couldn't sleep." That one felt real, like a hand reaching across time.
Yes, people underestimate how lonely teenagers can feel. You're surrounded by classmates, but that doesn't mean you're understood. Loneliness is not about being alone, it's about feeling unseen.
And he also said he expects the best, but always believes things will get worse. That's such a painful mindset, like optimism poisoned by fear.
That's depression in a nutshell. Even in a young mind, hope becomes something you're scared of. You start protecting yourself by believing the worst.
Someone else told him, "When you get older, you can reinvent yourself. You can escape the monotony of teen life." It was encouraging, but again, future-focused.
Yeah. When you're drowning now, wait a few years doesn't feel like a lifeline. It feels like someone telling you to tread water indefinitely.
Exactly. But there was one comment that felt brutally honest. No one is actually there for anyone. You are your own ultimate partner and healer.
Oof. That's both empowering and harsh. At 14, hearing that can feel like being abandoned by the universe.
Right. And yet, there's truth. Learning to rely on yourself is part of growing up, but you're not supposed to figure it all out at 14.
You're barely figuring out your voice cracking at 14, let alone existential loneliness.
You're awful. But yes, exactly.
But seriously, maybe the best thing anyone could tell him is that the person he will become hasn't even been born yet. And that future self will have tools, strength, scars, things the 14-year-old version cannot imagine.
I loved one comment that said, "14 was one of the hardest times of my life. Focus on your education and hobbies. Things will change, but not immediately."
Yes, that's probably the most realistic one. No magic, no false positivity, just truth. Adolescence hurts, and it won't evaporate overnight. But it does shift.
Another comment said, "Being lonely is better than being surrounded by the wrong people." That's so true.
Absolutely. At 14, the biggest trap is seeking validation from people who don't care. That kind of loneliness cuts deeper.
But loneliness also teaches you something profound, how to be with yourself.
Yes, and that's a skill that will save him again and again in adulthood.
I wish someone could sit with him and say, "Your sadness isn't a sign that your future is doomed. It's just evidence that you feel deeply. And that will become strength once your world expands.
Exactly. Because right now, his world is, what? A school building, a bedroom, maybe a neighborhood he's walked 1,000 times?
His whole universe fits inside a radius of a few blocks. No wonder it feels inescapable.
But the moment he graduates, meets new people, sees new places, his world will explode bigger than he ever imagined.
And the loneliness he feels now will become a distant memory, like a bad dream you try to describe but can't.
The problem is, at 14, he doesn't know that yet.
Yes, and that's why he needs to hear it from someone who lived through it.
And survived.
And even found joy.
Exactly.
You know, Tom, I keep thinking about how young 14 actually is. When you're that age, you think you're almost an adult, but emotionally, you're just starting to understand what feelings even are.
Right. At 14, every emotion is set to maximum volume. Happiness is euphoric, sadness is devastating, loneliness feels eternal. Teen brains do not believe in temporary pain.
Exactly. And when he says, I expect the best, but it will get worse, that breaks me. It sounds like he already sees himself losing at life before he's even taken a step.
That's what chronic sadness does. It distorts the future. The brain starts predicting storms even on sunny days.
And teenagers often don't realize that their brains are still making new emotional circuits. What feels permanent now is literally wiring that is still under construction.
Yeah, it's cruel in a way. Life throws huge feelings at you before giving you the emotional tools to handle them.
Someone wrote to him, life is tough, especially when you feel disconnected. Just take it one day at a time. And he probably read it and thought, okay, but what do I do with today?
That's the thing. Advice often skips the part where pain is real right now. Adults love giving long-term hope, but teenagers need short-term anchors.
Yes, something like eat something warm, take a walk, listen to music, cry if you need to. Tonight is not forever. Small things, survival-sized things.
That's so important. Healing doesn't start with life-changing wisdom. It starts with one tiny act of kindness toward yourself.
Do you think loneliness feels different at 14 than in adulthood?
Absolutely. Adult loneliness is heavy, but at least you understand it. Teenage loneliness is confusing. You don't know if it's your personality, your circumstances, or if you're just broken.
Right. When you're 14, you think every bad feeling says something final about who you are.
Exactly. But loneliness is not identity, it's a signal. It means you're craving connection, belonging, safety. That's human.
The boy kept repeating that this app is the only safe place to talk. That scared me a little, like he has no real life outlet.
Many teenagers don't. Parents might be busy, friends might be shallow. Teachers aren't trained for emotional conversations. So online becomes the only space where they can be honest.
But online support, while helpful, can't replace physical presence.
True. But sometimes online can be the rope someone grabs while drowning. Even if it can't pull them out, it can keep their head above water.
I wonder why loneliness feels so intense at that age.
Because teenagers are hypersensitive to social belonging. It's evolutionary. Being rejected or alone feels like danger to the brain.
That makes sense. He probably interprets loneliness as something wrong with him instead of something wrong with the situation.
Exactly. And that's where adults can help, by reframing it.
Like saying, you're not lonely because you're unlovable, you're lonely because you haven't met your people yet.
Yes, that's such an important message. Your tribe at 14 is rarely your tribe at 18, and never your tribe at 25.
Oh, absolutely. My life at 14, completely different universe.
Mine too. Back then, I felt like the weirdest person in the room. Now I realize I was just in the wrong room.
I love that.
But here's something else. Teenagers underestimate how dramatically life can change. A new school, a new group, a hobby, a part-time job, boom, new identity, new people, new everything.
Yes, but in the middle of sadness, imagining change feels impossible.
True. That's why you don't tell a drowning person, one day you'll swim. You tell them, hold on, breathe. You're not alone right now.
That's exactly what I wish people told him more.
What else was in the thread?
Another person told him, focus on your education and get hobbies, which is solid advice, but it feels like a checklist.
Teenagers don't need checklists. They need understanding. Loneliness isn't cured by distractions, though hobbies help, but by connection and meaning.
You know what hit me the hardest? When he said, I try to be happy, but at the end of the day, I have so many problems. It's just too much.
That's emotional exhaustion. For adults, a bad day is one thing, but for kids, a bad day feels like a bad life.
Yes, and adults often forget the intensity of teen emotions. They treat them like drama instead of reality.
That's why his pain must be validated, not minimized.
Exactly. Sometimes the most healing words are, it makes sense you feel this way.
And you won't feel this way forever, because that's true. The brain changes, the environment changes, the people around you change, even you change.
I wish more teens knew that their future selves will be almost unrecognizable compared to who they are now.
When you're 14, you are version 1.0 of yourself. By the time you're 20, you're version 7.0. You grow through updates.
Emotional software updates.
Exactly. And sadness is part of the process. Uncomfortable, but transformative.
So, what do you think would actually help him?
If I could talk to him directly, I'd say this. You feel lonely now because your world is small, but your world will grow. You haven't met all the people who will love you yet.
That's beautiful.
And I'd tell him, you're not weak for feeling deeply. You're not broken because you're sad. You're a human being whose story is just beginning.
I love that so much.
And maybe this. Don't judge your entire life by the first chapter. The plot hasn't even started yet.
That's exactly the message he needs. Not denial, not forced positivity, just hope. Real, grounded, gentle hope.
Yeah, because loneliness doesn't last forever. But the strength you grow from surviving it, that stays with you.
And one day, he'll look back and realize that this pain wasn't the end. It was the beginning of becoming someone stronger, wiser, kinder.
Exactly. Loneliness hurts, but it also carves space inside you for future connection.
And that connection will come, even if he can't see it yet.
Especially then.